Well, folks, Facebook is the most widely used social media service in the United States. It would be kind of bad if the White House was actually telling Facebook what to censor and what not to censor. Well, here's the thing. The Biden White House, they did. We now have breaking news over from the Facebook files. So Jim Jordan has now revealed a bunch of documents that have been discovered by Congress about the White House's activities vis-a-vis Facebook. According to the Wall Street Journal, Facebook removed content related to COVID-19 in response to pressure from the Biden administration, including posts claiming the virus was man-made. According to internal company communications viewed by the Wall Street Journal, the emails show Facebook executives discussed how they managed users' posts about the origins of the pandemic the administration was seeking to control. Nick Clegg, company's president of global affairs, wrote, quote, "Can someone quickly remind me why we were removing, rather than demoting or labeling, claims that COVID is man-made?" And he says, "We are under pressure from the administration and others to do more. This is a Facebook VP in charge of content policy. We shouldn't have done it." That is in July 2021. Clegg saying we shouldn't have removed this content, and another VP going, yeah, we shouldn't have, but the Biden White House wanted us to. That email and a number of other such internal company communications were obtained by the Judiciary Committee, which has been investigating what GOP lawmakers say is the Biden administration's improper efforts to censor American speech on social media about COVID and other topics. The White House says its discussions were aimed at promoting the adoption of vaccines and other public health goals. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre then said, "We believe that social media companies have a critical responsibility to take account of the effects of their platform." Yeah, I know. This is censorship by proxy. That's exactly what this was. The emails viewed by the Wall Street Journal, which had not been previously reported, date to the spring and summer of 2021 when the White House was putting explicit pressure on Americans not only to get vaccinated, but not to disseminate information the White House disagreed with. Apparently, after Joe Biden said that Facebook was killing people because of the quote-unquote false information they saw on Facebook, the tongue lashing caused Facebook to reevaluate its policies about COVID-19 content. Discussions that involved high-level company officials, including Nick Clegg and then COO Sheryl Sandberg. Following the president's killing people comment, the Facebook VP circulated a memo assessing the difference between Facebook's content policies and the Biden administration's demands. The Facebook VP said, quote, "There's a likely gap between what the White House would like us to remove and what we are comfortable removing." As one example, the executive listed the White House's desire the company take action against humorous or satirical content that suggested the vaccines aren't safe. The vice president wrote, quote, "The White House has previously indicated it thinks humor should be removed if it is premised on the vaccine having side effects. So we expect it would similarly want to see humor about vaccine hesitancy removed." Clegg then wrote, "I can't see Mark in a million years being comfortable with removing that. I wouldn't recommend it." That is amazing. So the White House was literally writing to Facebook and being like, stop the jokes about the vaccine. No jokes. Joking will be forbidden. There'll be no joking about the regime. Amazing stuff. But again, this is in fact a First Amendment violation. When the government uses private companies as proxies to perform censorship, that is a violation of the First Amendment pretty damned clearly. The best place to hire is with ZipRecruiter, a hiring partner focused on you and your needs. From pricing to technology, everything ZipRecruiter does is for you. Right now, you can try them for free at ZipRecruiter.com/dailywire. ZipRecruiter's smart technology identifies the best matches for your job and lets you invite candidates you really want to apply to your job before other businesses can snag them. I love how their pricing is really straightforward. You can stick to your budget with no surprises. Hire the best with the help of a partner who's all about you with ZipRecruiter. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter will get a quality candidate within day one. Just go to this exclusive web address. Try ZipRecruiter for free. ZipRecruiter.com/dailywire. We've been using ZipRecruiter ourselves for years here at the Daily Wire. And if you're looking for a job, ZipRecruiter is also a great place to look. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/dailywire. ZipRecruiter is indeed the smartest way to hire. They make your job much, much simpler. They sift through the resumes. They find you the best possible employees. They get them to you. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter again get a quality candidate within day one. ZipRecruiter is the smartest way to hire. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/dailywire. You need life insurance, okay? It's just a smart thing to do. You got dependents. You got to make sure they're okay. If something, God forbid, happens to you, this is why you need Policygenius. Policygenius makes it easy to compare life insurance quotes from top companies and find your lowest price. Let me tell you from personal experience, it is very satisfying to check life insurance off your to-do list because it's kind of an annoying thing kind of hanging over your head. And every day you don't do it is a day that you are taking a risk you don't need to take. Instead, get covered with Policygenius. With Policygenius, you can find life insurance policies starting at just $25 per month for $1 million in coverage. Some options offer coverage in as little as a week and avoid those unnecessary medical exams. Policygenius's licensed agents work for you, not the insurance companies, which means they don't have an incentive to recommend one insurer over another, so you can actually trust their guidance. There are no added fees. Your personal information remains private. Your loved ones deserve that financial safety net, and you deserve a smarter way to find and buy it. Head on over to policygenius.com/Shapiro or click the link in the description. Get your free life insurance quotes. See how much you could save. That's policygenius.com/Shapiro. Again, policygenius.com/Shapiro. Go check them out right now and get the life insurance you and your family need to make sure that they are provided for in case, God forbid, something happens to you. Some of the attacks on DeSantis at this point are truly scurrilous. The most scurrilous attack that we're seeing right now is this absurd and ridiculous attack on the Florida educational standards. There's this notion promulgated by Kamala Harris and the rest of the liars in the media that the Florida educational standards talk about the wonders and greatness of slavery, which is a lie. It is not true. You will recall that the original criticism is that the Florida state curriculum includes standards that teach, quote, how slaves developed skills which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit, which meant, as is true, that slaves being incredibly resilient and being very often people who had to undergo severe hardship, like always severe hardship, that they used that opportunity to develop skills that could benefit them personally. That is not an upholding of the virtue of slavery. It's the opposite. Okay, but Kamala Harris then went out and lied about, oh my gosh, they're talking about the magical benefits of slavery. There's only one problem. Here's what the AP African American Studies official course framework says. This year, quote, in addition to agricultural work, enslaved people learned specialized trades and worked as painters, carpenters, tailors, musicians, and healers in the North and South. Once free, African Americans used these skills to provide for themselves and others. That is the exact same thing. The Associated Press says the exact same thing as the guidelines for the state of Florida. And yet, Ron DeSantis is getting ripped up and down over all this. Here was DeSantis' response to a reporter who tried to come after him on this particular issue.
Were there beneficial aspects to slavery?
That's not what the curriculum says.
What do you think?
No, it's not. And the curriculum is very clear. You have, I think it's like 200 plus pages of all kinds of stuff that you can't read that. Have you read it?
So what's your opinion?
Have you read it?
I'm asking your opinion.
But you haven't read it, so I'm just making that clear. That makes it very clear about the injustices of slavery in vivid detail. So anyone that actually read that and then listens to Kamala would know that she's lying. And that particular provision about the skills, that was in spite of slavery, not because of. The AP course has made that same point. Other courses have made that same point. Nobody said anything about that. And Dr. Allen and those people will say, look, this is what was used post-bellum when these folks were doing stuff. So that was very, very clear. And I would just say, people can read it.
Of course, DeSantis is exactly right, but that's not stopping the lies from being promulgated. This is why the Congressional Black Caucus is now pushing the White House, according to the AP. They're pushing the White House, the Justice Department, and the DOE to adopt an aggressive legal strategy to scrutinize recent changes to Florida's Black history curriculum. It's an absurdity. So at the very least, you would expect that the same Republicans who are so defensive of Donald Trump and his classified documents mishandling, they might be defensive of DeSantis when the media lie about them. Like at the very least, Republicans should defend each other when they're being lied about by the media. This is why I'm very disappointed in Tim Scott today. Tim Scott was asked about this, and he promptly sided with Kamala Harris, and he sided with the Congressional Black Caucus. Here was Tim Scott.
As a country founded upon freedom, the greatest deprivation of freedom was slavery. There's no silver lining in freedom, in slavery. The truth is that anything you can learn, that any benefits that people suggest you had during slavery, you would have had as a free person. What slavery was really about separating families, about mutilating humans, and even raping their wives. It was just devastating. So I would hope that every person in our country, and certainly running for president, would appreciate that. And listen, people have bad days. Sometimes they regret what they say, and we should ask them again to clarify their positions.
Okay, that's ridiculous. I mean, that's Scott being disingenuous because he fully well knows what the story is with Florida's education curriculum. I understand it's a presidential race, but it would behoove Republicans to actually, at some point, defend people who are not actually doing the wrong thing. Alrighty, guys, the rest of the show continues right now. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll be talking about the global boiling that apparently is happening, plus more scientific discoveries from the left. If you're not a member, become a member. Use code Shapiro. Check out for 2 months free on all annual plans. Click that link in the description and join us.